right, next up, The Crow Salvation, starring Kirsten Dunst and Eric Mobius. Kirsten Dunst is like 17 or 18 years old in this. She's really young. Now, obviously, we didn't like the last one much, to say the least. So I was definitely looking forward to seeing what this one was like in comparison. And while the production value is even maybe more made for straight to DVD, straight to VHS, whatever. I think this came out in 2000, so it might be both. But straight to the home market. I definitely liked this one more, for sure. This is the better of the two for me, there's no doubt. But this one is still pretty cheesy, and like the acting is pretty rough from a lot of people. It has that lower budgeted, straight to home video feel to it. But I do think that this story adds some unique new perspectives. I like this angle of, somebody being innocent and executed for the crime of killing his girlfriend when he didn't, and he comes back to avenge it. So that was cool. I like the addition of that this isn't face paint, that his makeup was like burned into him. I do wish that would have been done differently, to where I don't know why his face is all like melted and then it heals except for some open wounds. So that makes no sense to me. Like everything heals but those. Like,
well, they're not open wounds, that's scarring.
Okay, scarring, but it doesn't really matter because his whole face should be one big scar because it all burned off.
Sure.
Right, so it doesn't make any sense why he would have... You're right. It looks like open wounds, though, these, in his face here. Whatever it is, doesn't make any sense why those don't heal or didn't heal back over.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like he gets shot and there's a scar there, right? When it heals, it just heals completely normal. So that doesn't make any sense. I would have liked to have seen them actually maybe just embrace that, where... he gets wounds, and then when he wipes it away, he has scarring.
Yeah.
And then every time he gets shot or anything, when it heals with a scar. Right? That would have been cool. And he's like, what his face looks like is his scarring from his death, which is what it is, but it just doesn't make any sense. But I don't really care.
I mean, that would have made the fact that nobody seems to recognize him in this film... that would have made that make a lot more sense if he was like heavily scarred. But the way that people react to seeing him and being like I get that on one hand they're like, well, Corvus is dead, so you can't be him. But on the other hand, it's literally him. Like, it's him. And so it's very much like Superman putting on glasses kind of a thing. Like, I don't really understand why nobody is recognizing him. And for me, that's one of the cheesy parts of the film, too. I like the story. I like the idea of somebody being falsely accused, coming back, to find the killer, the real, villain. I think that's a great setup. And... I think that even though the acting is kind of corny, I do feel like they were taking it more seriously than the last one. Yeah. The last one just really had this, very goofy vibe to it at times. And this one felt a lot more grounded. I liked his performance too, compared to the last Crow that we got. I just felt like he was more himself. Like, there were definitely mannerisms that he was acting different. Like when he was sitting on cars and stuff, he'd be crouched and all weird and contorted and whatnot. But it just felt more like
his own thing.
It felt more like his own thing. Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
I didn't like a lot of the music in this. I felt like there was some weird... I don't know. The soundtrack was kind of all over the place. I feel like they were doing some rap and then R&B and then some metal and rock, and it just kind of gave it this really weird, like, mismatched sort of vibe.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it was, I don't know. I don't know what was going on with the soundtrack.
I think they just went with what they could afford.
Probably, yeah.
As far as the soundtrack goes, something I caught in the movie that I was just kind of blown away by, because I've never seen this done before or heard this done before. There is a song in this which is a remix of Juliette Lewis singing Born Bad in Natural Born Killers, remixed into a song.
Yeah.
But the second I heard it, because I've seen Natural Born Killers tons of times, I knew that was Juliette Lewis singing that in her prison cell right before, Mickey comes and breaks her out. I was, when Scagnetti, and the warden are watching her, and she's in her cell and she's singing Born Bad. It's literally that. Yeah. It is that from the movie, but like remixed into a song.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. I've never heard like someone's singing from a movie, just a random. It would be like watching a movie and Laurie Strode singing "I Wish I Had You All Alone."
Yeah.
Right, but not like Jamie Lee Curtis or redoing the song for a movie, or like someone re-recording it themselves. No, literally just an excerpt from the movie.
Yeah.
I was blown away by hearing that in here. I don't know why. I just was not expecting it in a million years. I don't know why I would ever be expecting that, but I just never heard anything like it. Anyways, moving on from that. There's a lot of like familiar faces in here. You got Walton Goggins, which was cool to see, but once again, just kind of like throwaway villain. He's used for a minute. You got William Atherton, who, I know from Real Genius, and he's been in so many things. Biodome. These are like the things he's not known for, but those are what I remember him from, since those are movies I grew up on and loved. He plays the father of Kirsten Dunst and the girl who dies, who he gets pinned with on the murder of. And he ends up getting killed as well.
Yeah.
Fred Ward plays the main villain in this. And while I love Fred Ward in the Tremors movies, his character is insanely underdeveloped here because they start the movie. It's weird. The movie like goes to have this twist to it.
Yeah.
Like who the killer with the scars is that he's looking for. But it reveals itself early, but like only for people who are like, I guess, slightly paying attention. Because we see him working on a crow in the beginning with those scars on his arm. And then like halfway through the movie, once he's introduced, he's like, I've studied this before. Yeah. It's like, okay, so it's you.
Yeah.
And then they try to make it seem like it's not him because they plant an arm with the stuff in it, which would be the most anticlimactic thing of all time.
Right.
So if you have ever seen a movie in your life, they're not going to subvert expectations like that. They're just not going to do it in a film like this. This is not the kind of film they're going to take risks and be like, we're just going to kill the guy he's looking for randomly. And he's just going to be like, whoa, it's over, I guess.
Yeah.
So when it's like revealed, when he pulls his arm out of the car and he looks at it, it's like, did you write this, or did you intend for this to be a twist that people were like, oh, it's him?
I don't think so, but I do think that he's kind of just like an afterthought in a way for the larger like villain of the movie, which is the entire police force basically.
Haven't got a police force.
They all suck. Like all of the dirty cops in this, and like just the fact that it is that like it's organized, crime.
Yeah.
I think is really, that's one of the interesting things about the film, is that they went for that angle. And he's kind of just like, I mean, like, yeah, like the police chief is supposed to be like in charge of everyone. So of course he's got to be the head like bad guy. But I agree. I think he's underdeveloped. I think that they should have spent more time, because like the fact that he like is studying the crow and knows that this is a phenomenon that happens, like, and it just accepts it, that there's people that are brought back from the dead. And he even said like a cat could be brought back from the dead with enough motive.
And he doesn't even do anything with it. He doesn't do anything about it.
All he says is like the only thing is just like, we got to give him what he wants, and like that's gonna end his like little vendetta. And I mean, I guess it's true, because like, but it does suck that Corvus would see a fake arm, and just the fact that he thinks that it's over would end things, versus like he didn't actually come back and do what he was supposed to do. Like that should be what ends things. You shouldn't be able to trick him because it's like supernatural magic that's, you know, bringing him back so that he can accomplish a specific task. And until that task is actually done, you know, like this magic should, I feel, be able to tell when it's the real deal and when it's not.
Yeah, he does come back though.
He does, but he comes back
because of the
for
necklace.
A different reason, kind of. Like it's almost like he's resurrected a second time because of the necklace and being reminded that he is in fact innocent. I mean, it is the same thing, but it's just funny that it's like... And also, it seems to be, like, this is what happens, is that the crow has to, like, they have to lose their powers, like, in the end, and fight the villain powerless or whatever.
Yeah, it's a trope.
And, yeah, it's definitely tropey.
But that's, like, the only thing they got, because it's like, he just remains immortal the whole time.
Sure.
You know, in the last one, the other guy became, like, immortal.
Right.
But then a bunch of, like, crows flew through him, and he disappeared. That was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. But yeah, it's just, it really just kind of goes nowhere. The fact that he's studying this stuff, he doesn't really use it to his advantage all that much. It doesn't really end up being some plot point that's all that relevant. I just found that to be super underwhelming. Fred Ward's Fred Ward. He's just, you know, he's pretty much what I expected him to be in this. We do get some, like, crow stuff here with the blood, you know, going out on the car and stuff. It seems like he paints it himself this time. It doesn't just form, or maybe it does. I couldn't tell.
I don't know if he's creating the crow imagery. I don't think he is.
Yeah.
The other thing too with this movie, like you had said that I mentioned when we were watching this that it doesn't have any of the style of the first two films. And while I said that this one's more grounded and I like that, that's one of the downsides for me, is that I think that this is a fairly, like, styleless movie. Like, it doesn't have any... there's just nothing interesting to look at all.
Yeah, it doesn't have its own identity.
I really think that that's a... You know, even if you don't want to go for the exact same aesthetic as the first two films and want to do your own thing, that's fine. But it needed to have something, because it does have that very made-for-TV feel, like a cop drama. And, you know, if it had gone, like, okay, like the tone of Seven, and like the way Seven looks, like that would have worked really well. Like something very, you know, it needs to have the grittiness. I think that that's really important.
They couldn't afford
this.
a cinematographer.
I mean, like, I get that there's like budget issues and all of that, but I just think that it was really boring looking. And it does the same thing that the last one did, in a way where, like, in an effort to make it like kind of edgy, there's a strip club where, like, all this illegal activity is, like, you know, it's the hub. And so we just see a bunch of naked women, and which is fine to see naked women, but it's just kind of like, that is sort of a pointless part of the movie. Like, it does feel like it's added in there just to add, like, an edginess. And I think that's kind of lame, because I want, like, if you're going to make the movie edgy, like, make it edgy with, like, a reason and have a purpose to it. Like, it just felt kind of unnecessary, is all. Like, just kind of an excuse to get nudity in. And
I'm fine with that.
I just think that it's lame, ultimately, though, because it's lazy. That's what it is. It's very lazy, and that's why I'm, like, annoyed with it.
Anytime they go to a strip club in a movie and girls are dancing naked, that's, like, lazy?
No, I mean specifically in the context of this film. because it, I believe, was used in a way to make it seem like, oh, this is adult and like kind of hardcore and everything. That's the laziness to me.
I think for me, it's not so much that that's pretty stock, that's pretty standard, so I don't mind that. And of course, I like the boobs, so it's like I'll be fine with that. But the thing that this lacks more than anything, which you already hit on, and that is where this film greatly diminishes its score and its enjoyability, is in its style. It has no style, and the director has no idea what he's doing. The script is not very good. It has some interesting ideas, but overall it's got pretty weak dialogue. And it's just, man, the style and the camera placements and movements, and there's no artistic imagery in here. There's nothing interesting to offer to you visually. There's no visual storytelling. There's no anything. It's just dreadful in that way. And all the ways that the girls are shot, they're only sexy because they're sexy, not because they know how to be shot sexily.
That's what I mean. Like, it's just, it's lazy. Like, you can put a naked woman in front of the camera and she'll be appealing because it's a naked woman. Sure. But that doesn't make it, like, an artistic, thing. And the more that we talk about the movie, actually, the more I dislike it. The more I'm like, no, actually, because it has the same problems that the last one did in terms of, like, it's a cool setup, it's a cool concept. Yeah. But it has, like, really poor execution and, like, this lack of style and lack of, like, all of that just makes it feel so washed out and lame and just, like, a downgrade. Like, a still another downgrade.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the last one had a lot of things in it that I was, like, not enjoying. But it felt a little more, like, entertaining to watch. Like, we were having fun watching Iggy Top or whatever. Pop. I always want to say like ZZ Top. Like there's like some fun, elements to it, even though it was like really cheesy. And with this one, it does have the TV cop drama feel, but like it's just kind of boring. And I think Corvus, like, I think his character is an interesting one that could have, I like that he's sort of trying to do his own thing and everything, but yeah, I don't know. The more we're talking about it, like I said, just the more I'm kind of becoming very meh and not feeling it.
The look he has reminded me, as I had said while we were watching it, it looked like Michael Myers without a mask. That was, he's got the jumpsuit on, he's got the blacked out eyes here. It just looks like an actor that was playing Myers on set just takes off the mask and runs over and shoots the crow while he's like in between takes. So, yeah, that's really all I got to say about it. It's not a good movie by any means for me, but I did like it more than the last one, but that's not saying much.
I don't know.
You're kind of like even kilter on.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it more. I don't think I do. I feel like I don't know. It definitely is at least on the same level as the last one for me. Yeah. If not, honestly, I don't know. But we'll see what the next one is.
Oh, the next one's going to be the worst one for sure.
So, yeah, guaranteed. This franchise it's a big, I don't know.
Swing and a miss.
It's, yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious on the TV show. Mm-hmm. I want to watch an episode or two out of curiosity once we finish this. But that remains to be seen if we ever get to that. But don't worry. Unfortunately, Wicked Prayer is on the way. I wish it wasn't. With a 3.0 on IMDb. Yeah. This has a 4.9 for context. It's going to be rough. It's got freaking Tara Reid in it. You already know it's bad. It's got David Boreanaz in it.
I don't know who that is.
What? Angel.
Oh, I do know who that is.
You definitely know that.
Angel's
and the crow is Edward Furlong from Terminator 2.
Whoa.
It doesn't look good. I've never seen it. And this is the first time watch for me. I thought I'd seen this, but if I had seen this, I forgot it completely. Yeah. I don't think I've seen this. I thought I had going into it, but watching it, I'm like, I don't think I've seen this. And I definitely haven't seen the next one.
Yeah.
So I've always been curious, and my curiosity is dying.
Yeah.
Every film. Yeah. But yeah, so I can tell you this right now. this I'm 100% positive on. There is no way the Bill Skarsgård movie isn't at bare minimum the second best in this franchise.
Oh, for sure.
The trailer
was thinking about that.
Is better than both these movies combined.
Yeah. It's going to be at least second best. I mean, there's no way that it's going to surpass the original. Like, I kind of am... I don't know.
It's not going to surpass the original.
Even though I know when we were, like, talking about it, like, on our live stream and stuff, I'm like, oh, like, I'll go into it unbiased and, like, I'll be able to judge, but...
I think I'm going to
really... I don't know if I can do it.
I think I'm going to really enjoy... Like, I am going to like elements of it better. I'm going to like I'm going to like the action choreography better, guaranteed. Because the trailer already has better action choreography.
Yeah.
Right? I like that John Wick style of action, and this is modern and whatever, and it's going to be brutal. And if it has some fucking gnarly ass kills and Skarsgård is wrecking shit right and left, I'm going to have a great time.
Oh, right? I want to have a great time. And so
there will definitely be an argument to me of like, you know, is The Crow more nostalgic, and does it have more poetry, and is it, you know, an iconic film because of the tragedy, and is there things in it that I love? Yes, of course, but I think that this new one has potential to be a film in a franchise that I'm a defender of. From the trailer I watched, people are hating on it, but from what I'm seeing, I'm like, this looks pretty rad.
I think people
I think it's gonna kick ass, and I'm hoping I'm right, and it's not gonna end up like some like Silent Night, which was like such a disappointment.
Yeah, I feel like people are very what's the word, like hesitant, or that's not what I'm thinking of, but because of like so far these sequels in this franchise, I feel like another film coming in, they're like, don't do it, like we've already had all these failures.
So this is the thing that doesn't make me ever take anyone fucking seriously, is that much like in politics, people are very one issue people. They're like one issue voters. They're one issue people in movies. It's all the same shit. It's like, I don't like the way he looks. Right? That's all I hear. And it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's one aspect.
Yeah.
That's one aspect. Even if he looks super fucking dumb and the whole rest of the movie's rad, I'd be like, yeah, he kind of looks stupid, but the movie's awesome. Right? Like, the trailer was fucking cool. And I like the way he looks. I'm fine with the way he looks. So I don't even have a problem with that. But if that's all I'm hearing is like, oh my God, he looks terrible. This movie's going to be awful. And it's like, that's it. That's all you got? Like, what did you think of the trailer outside of your opinion of the aesthetics of a singular character? Yeah. Right? Did you like the action shots? Did you like, if you were like, oh, I didn't like this, then I would be like, okay, I'll listen. Fair, but it's all just, I don't like that he looks like Yolandi from freaking Die Antwoord.
To be fair, I do understand, because I think the aesthetics in this franchise, especially with the original, is a big element. So for people to be like, the aesthetics of this trailer, like, they're not working for me, I do think it's okay for people to be like, I don't know. But obviously, I want those people to still give the movie a shot and like see how it goes, because
you're asking,
you never know. But I mean, we already talked about this. There's a new look. I'm glad that there's a new look, and it's a new look for like the modern times. Like, this is, you know. So.
No, I might be eating my words eventually.
Sure, I mean, we could both hate it. We could go in and be like, oh, it was awful.
But I'm not seeing enough evidence online from people that I feel that they have a good faith argument. That's it. Yeah. And that's super typical. That's super typical. People love to jump on the bandwagon. As soon as there's something they don't like, then it just becomes pile on the movie.
Yeah.
Dog it out as much as humanly possible with the dumbest, most invalid reasons imaginable. And I can always see it. And this is one of those examples. It's just, they're so obvious to me. There's because you can tell by the amount of information that's being given towards their dislike towards the film. Mm-hmm. And with this trailer, it's just not there. Yeah. It's just, I don't like how he looks. And it's like, who gives a shit? That's such a weird thing to care about in the context of an entire film. But I get it. It's like that's the thing they're going off of. But what did you think of the rest? Anyways, I'm done. All right, moving on. We will do Wicked Prayer maybe tomorrow. Maybe not. No, probably not. Because we have the Immaculate tomorrow. So, all right. Well, we'll get to it when we get to it, guys. Let us know what you think of this movie. And let us know what you think of the next movie. Let us know what you think about the trailer of the new one and all of that good stuff. So let us know. And subscribe for future videos. Yeah. We've been putting in a lot of extra work, and there's a lot to look forward to in the future. So definitely check it out if you are new here. All right, guys.
Bye.